Hey everybody, and welcome back to another weekly upload. Today, of course, is Sunday, May 21st. That's not a holiday. We're just enthused about talking about it. But anyways, so today, of course, is another episode of the Hoover series that we're doing for my birthday month. My birthday was on the 5th of May, but we're just going to continue with it. We got one more, and it's going to be a really special one, so stay tuned for next week. But today we are going to see a very, very, very rare machine that came out of the 80s, and it is a lot newer and not necessarily always what I look for, but given the rarity and the scarcity of this particular model, I did want to make it a part of this series for this year. Of course, we'll do more Hoover series over the course of time. We'll see them as we go on. In other news, let's see here. We will have a 1930s series coming up. I decided to do that for June. Sounded like a kind of a cool idea, so get prepared for those, for all of you that are interested in the really old stuff. On top of that, I'm sure that in July I will be bringing out some other cool, more patriotic machines. So again, stay tuned for that. Well, without further ado, let's get it into the video. Okay, so this is quite a bit different than my normal interest in vacuum cleaners. We're looking at something that's a lot later, but very significant to Hoover's timeline. Now, what we're looking at here is a 1989 Hoover Innovation. Now, the Hoover Innovation was a shortly lived machine in the United States, more commonly known as the Turbo Master over in the UK, not the Turbo Power. We actually had a Turbo Power here, but that was a lot different, a little bit later than this. But this was also the Turbo Master. On the ID plate, it actually does say made in Great Britain. So this was an imported machine into the US. There's been speculation as to why the Hoover Innovation even came to be after the round of the Turbo Masters had come to an end. Most people believe that perhaps that it was because of an influx of parts were left over, and we decided to go ahead and take the machines on and fill a need. This machine was particularly expensive here in the United States. If you'll turn your attention to this ad. Oh, and maybe this one too, from 1990. As you can see, these were a $300 machine back in 1990. Most of them were made in the late 80s, mine being in 1989, but they were mostly sold in the 1990s. The Turbo Master in the UK, as I recall, that came out in the mid-80s, I believe 1986. But I don't know very much about those machines aside from they are what birthed the innovation. But anywho, so the Innovation was a very interesting machine. It was very technologically advanced compared to what we had even on the market at the time. Hoover had been releasing different things like the Concept, as well as the Power Max and a few others of that era. The Elites started coming around, and but this featured a lot of interesting additions. We did have an air freshener right here. You would simply slide this little device here, depending on how much you wanted, and really cool on the decal. If we'll zoom in right here, on either side of the word air freshener, it actually has a little rose. So kind of that smells good. Not sure why. I love the little detail though. On top of that, we had a check bag indicator, so when you lost section, this would immediately be triggered and you would have a bright orange light shining back at you. There was also a tool conversion on the front. Now, Hoover was not the first to do this. People have been doing this for a long time, including Eureka, Hoover, as well as others. But simply when the machine was in the upright position, you would just push this and it would expose your tool plug. We also had a very cool, very 80s headlight set up right here. And the reason why I say that is because when this is on, and you will see it when we do our run demo, it would light up. There's some settings right here on the top. There'd be 1 through 4. And as you would move this, it would light up whichever setting. So looking very digital watch-like. So super, super cool looking machine once it got going. It also had a hard or soft carpet selection on the side there for converting from hard or soft surfaces. It had a push button cord winder, so you didn't have to worry about looping the cord around. And it also had a clutch mechanism for the belt. And when I say that, I mean as soon as you plug your tool conversion on, it would essentially detach the belt using a set of pulleys and belts and whatnot, and actually used a V-belt, which for those out there that don't know, it's used in a lot of machinery. So it was a very technologically very expensive machine when it came out. That price tag to $299, $300 in 1990. With today's inflation, you'd be looking at $717. So that is a lot of money for a vacuum cleaner, even by today's standards. I realize Dysons are very expensive too, but I don't know. It was a very expensive machine. Not a lot of people bought them. Other problem with these is they're really, really fragile. So even this one, and we'll take a look at it in a sec here when we do the run demo, but even this one has pieces that broke on it over time. Not necessarily because the vacuum was, roughhoused with, but, just things break over time as they're a little bit flimsy. The bag door had a piece that was broken off, so I was able to fix that with a piece of metal. And then the wheel looks like it has, or one of the wheels, looks like it has a bite taken out of it. The wheels on this are also really cool because they're these big monster truck looking wheels in the back, and you'll see those in the run demo as well. In addition to that, we also see the original toolkit. Now, I was lucky to get this from my good friend Mitchell Armstrong, and he miraculously found this in complete shape. We even have a instruction book, or instruction page I should say, that shows how to plug in the machines, and it is 100% complete, as we can see here. So that is an interesting piece of this machine that, you just don't see with a machine that wasn't really lasting super long. It even came from the Bon Marché here in Renton, Washington, with a date of January 3rd, 1990, which lines right up with the date that it was made. So without further ado, we are going to get into the run demo. Okay, so let's get to it with this 1989 Hoover Innovation. Hey everyone, I hope you enjoyed our little video on the Hoover Innovation here. It is definitely one of my new favorites, even though it is quite a bit younger than most of my stuff. But if you did see it light up on the front of the headlight, very, very cool, as well as the power surge motor that's in this. If you heard that motor kind of change pitches a little bit, that's the power surge that gave you a little extra suction power there. Now, this machine is going to be staying in my personal collection. I do want to make sure that I preserve pieces of Hoover's history that continue on. Anyways, Thank you all for watching this week. I know that it's not necessarily my regular video, but still I appreciate it. We, of course, will be back next week with an extreme rarity, so keep your eyes peeled for that episode, and we will catch you in the next one.